Hello again, this is Simon Strange, coming to you from Sunstone Games, showing off the development of Kaiju Combat. For our second video, what people wanted to see is they said they want to see something about the collision detection, the hitbox creation system. So I thought I'd show that off for a bit. We're going to load up Komododon here. People are also hoping to see more characters. Unfortunately, Komododon is really the only character we have today who's got enough animations together to really show off in a nearly complete form. We'll have more monsters together in the next couple of weeks, but for right now, Komododon is it. So, let's get around to the proper side here. When you throw an attack, like this, you may see that blue sphere appeared. I've got a debug option turned on that turns on what we call colliders. These colliders, we get placed in a frame. So for example, that attack is called chain basic 1, and if we go here into the event track, we can see that there's a sound effect that begins on frame 10, the left hand collision turns on frame 15, and the left hand collision turns off again on frame 26. If we want to preview the animation, let's turn off the character, we can preview here and kind of go through frame by frame, and we see right about there, yeah, that's where the hand needs to start to hit, and then the hand's going to be done with its attack. So that's how we place those. Okay. So let's take a look at an attack that doesn't have anything on. Let's look at Chain Away. Chain Away is this big sort of Sparta kick. All right. This is a chain attack, which means that it doesn't have a lot of follow through. As soon as you're done with this kick, you're pretty much ready to throw out another attack, creating a chain. So this attack clearly is going to use the right foot. So the first thing we need to do is turn on some collision. Let's see, I think right about there, about frame 12 is when this foot becomes active. And let's say it stays active till about frame 20. So in the event track, we say activate, collision, right foot. And then we say around frame 20, deactivate collision right foot. This needs to be frame 12. Good. So now let's clear that and build the character. And when I trigger my... Oops, wrong. There. You saw the foot collider came out there. Foot. Yay! Now the foot's turning on approximately the right time. However, careful viewers may notice, if we go through frame by frame, that that sphere is a terrible approximation of where my foot is. So let's try to make it a little bit better. To adjust that, we don't need to touch this anymore. The collision is now being turned on. All we have to worry about are the colliders here. So we just have a few basic colliders that I set up without really looking at them or thinking about them at all. And so here's the collider for the right foot. It has a bunch of stuff in here. The most important thing is the primitive, that is the shape that the collider takes. So you can see it's a sphere, its radius is 10, and it has these various offsets. Right now there's no offset, it's just centered around the heel. That's where the bone exists for the foot. So let's try to make that a little bit better. Let's say we're going to give it an offset of maybe 12 meters. Okay, this character is 85 meters tall, so about 12 meters might give us something pretty good. Rebuild the character, turn on the simulation, and... Oh, that's terrible. That's not what we want at all. That's even further away from the foot. So probably what we want is more like negative 12. That's probably going to be a little bit better for us. And here we go. We step through, and okay, good. Good. That's further back. That's what I want. But we also want to slide it up along the toes. So let's pick something here. Let's say maybe 15 meters along the foot. And... Alright, there we go. That's quite a lot better. That's a much better approximation of where my foot is. But say we want to get even better than that. I mean, because that's still, you know, you can see that those claws at the end of the foot could still hit somebody and it wouldn't technically be colliding because it's a sphere that represents collision. Also, a very short monster might be totally be hit by the heel and pass underneath it. We could make the sphere just gigantic to cover all these cases, but we can do better than that. This is going to be a good game. What we're going to do is we're going to add a second primitive. So now, in addition to primitive 0, we have primitive 1. Primitive 1, let's make it a sphere. Let's attach it to the same bone. We could attach it to a different bone. Whoops, not the toe, the foot. Okay. And let's see how. Let's see the size. This one, let's make it a little bit smaller, perhaps, than the other one. And its position, let's make it not quite as far back, and maybe not so far along the foot. So now we have two spheres, and when we throw out a kick, whoops, didn't pause quickly enough. Here we go. Come around to see. There. Oh, that's much better. That's an even better approximation of the foot. I'm still not happy with the way this top sphere is exposing the toes, though, so let's just fix that up a little bit. So go back to primitive 0, and let's say that the position, instead of negative 12, let's make it negative 9. There. Oh, that's nicer. That's looking pretty good. Alright, so now we have this foot collider. One of the nice things is that now that we have the foot collider configured, we can use the same foot collider whenever I need to attack with this foot. Unless it's going to be something different. Maybe with a stomp I only want the heel to be effective. Maybe with some punches I want only the hand to be effective, or sometimes I want the whole arm to be effective. Anyway, I hope this gives you sort of a general idea of how we create the collision for the characters. Next time, unless I hear something different, I think I'll show you how we create the collision on the opponent characters, and I'll put the whole thing together to show you how we use that to create reaction animations in combat. Alright, thank you so much.